So in 2005, this fisherman in Philippines, the coast of Philippines, he goes out and he throws his net into the ocean to catch fish. And when he pulls back his net, he finds a misshapen stone, a rock that was kind of weird looking. And so he takes a look at this rock, not sure what to do with it. And he goes home, takes it back home, shows it to his family. His family doesn't know what this rock it was. It was weird. And so he puts it under his bed and lives on his life. And for 10 years, this misshapen rock, mysterious rock that he found in the ocean, was just lying under his bed. After 10 years, the fisherman and his family was going to move to another island in Philippines. And so not knowing what to do with the rock, they decided to give it to the local tourism. When the local tourism got hand of this rock, they called their experts to clean it up. When they looked at it, it turned out to be the world's largest pearl, estimated at $130 million. This poor fisherman could have been a millionaire had he known the value of this stone, this pearl that was under his bed for the last 10 years. So I want to ask this question today. How do you measure the value of something? Or more importantly, I want to ask you this question today. How do you measure your value? How do you measure your worth? If you look in Matthew chapter 13, verse 45, there's a beautiful parable. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls. And on finding one pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had and bought it. Why pearls? Why did Jesus use the analogy of a pearl rather than that of a diamond? You see, in the ancient world, pearls were the most valuable thing, more than rubies, more than jade, more than diamonds, more than sapphire. Any kind of stone was incomparable to the value of pearl. You see, pearl was the highest value gemstone that you could get. Cleopatra of Egypt actually had a pearl which was worth at 25 million denarii, which in today's value would be $4 billion. Amazing. Roman General Vitellius, actually, when he started his military campaign, was able to fund the food, the equipment, and all the necessary things for his military campaign by selling just one of his mother's pearl earrings. Incredible. So why were pearls so expensive in the ancient world? You see, pearls were so expensive in the ancient world because they were so hard to find. Pearl divers would actually tie a rope to their ankle and the other end to a rock, which they would take the rock and throw it into the ocean. And then they would sink with the rock into the bottom of the ocean. Looking for pearls, looking for oysters. They would open hundreds of oysters, and then finally, when they found the pearl, they would cut the rope and swim back up to the boat. And they would do this process over and over and over again. And this process was so strenuous because it is estimated that in 10,000 oysters, only one could have a pearl. So imagine diving 10,000 times to find just one pearl of great value. And so in this parable, we see that Jesus tells there is actually a merchant, a pearl merchant, who is searching for a pearl of great value. And finally, when he finds this one pearl of great value, he sells all the other pearls that he had, all that he had in his pocket, all that he had in his bag, all the pearls that he had collected over the years. He sells all of them so that he can have that pearl of great value, that one pearl of great value. So when you look at this parable, this verse closely, it might look like this pearl, this one pearl of great value is Jesus. And what the parable or what Jesus is trying to say is that when we see Jesus, for all that He's worth, we are supposed to sell all that we have and give up everything so that we can have Jesus, that Jesus is worth everything that we have. I'll give everything. You can have all the world, but just give me Jesus, right? That seems to be the logical conclusion that anybody would come to if you read this parable. However, I want us to look a little closer. I want us to look a little deeper, because this parable might not be what you think it is. You see, this parable is different because in all the other parables of Jesus says the kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of God is like a treasure. The kingdom of God is like a shepherd who leaves the 99 to find the one. The kingdom of God is like a farmer. And this is important because in all the other parables of Jesus, that has a merchant, a shepherd, or a farmer who is sowing or looking for something that is hidden, covered, or lost. God is the one doing the sowing. God is the one doing the searching. You see, God is not hidden. God is not covered. God is not lost. And this is important because how you see this parable determines whether you see yourself as the merchant or as the pearl. You see, all my life, whenever I read this parable, I always thought Jesus was the pearl and I was the merchant, and I had to work really hard to attain this pearl, to attain Jesus. No. Jesus is the merchant. It says the kingdom of God is a merchant, not the kingdom of God is a pearl. It says the kingdom of God is a merchant. Jesus is the merchant. And if Jesus is the merchant, then who is the pearl? You are. You're the pearl of great value. The pearl merchant was an expert in pearls. He knew pearls. He knew that no two pearls are the same. He knew the size, the color, the shape, and he cared about pearls. God knows who you are. He knows your shape. He knows your color. He knows the way you smile. He knows your uniqueness. He knows your creativity. He adores you. He's so proud of you. He knows the way you sing out of tune during worship. He knows your deepest fears and your insecurities. And He looks at you and He says, you are of such great value. To answer the question that I asked in the beginning, how do you measure the value of something? In this parable, we see you measure the value of something by what someone is willing to pay for it. Brothers, sisters, on the cross, Jesus, the merchant, traded all of his pearls. He emptied his pocket and gave all that he had so that he can have you. You are the pearl of great value. Brothers, sisters, that is the love of Christ.